Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lady K Chronicles Season 2. I'm excited. I have heard your message. I've gotten your DMs. I gotten your calls. And let me tell you, I am so excited about Season 2 because it's going to be different from Season 1. And I'm so thankful that God is able to meet you where you are in Season 1 to help you, to let you know that He has not forgotten about you. But Season 2 is going to be quite a ride, and I'm excited for it. Whether I'm your doula, your cheerleader, your teacher, whatever it is, I'm here to get you to point A, to point B, and to wherever God wants you to be. Okay, so get ready for Season 2, y'all. So I think last season I was like more poised. I'm very much of an introvert person, and so I kind of like control the narrative. But I think season 2, I really am putting myself out there more, unrestricted. And I think that people need to see that, because I think a lot of times people want to see how God works in your life, and sometimes it's not in this box, in this perfect box, in this little era you want Him to be. Sometimes you just need to let loose and really testify about His goodness. So I think that season 2, it's more less restriction and more just spontaneous. Okay, so I do have a session called about this beauty. It's all about rest. I think a lot of times people don't understand how powerful rest is. Like, for example, if you're going to the hospital because you're sick, the doctor will tell you need fluids and rest. Why? Because your body needs to recuperate. And I think a lot of us, what we're feeling is tiredness in the mind, in the body, spiritually, and it's time to just rest in God's promises, time to unplug and really let the God's work really work in you. Rest is a position of power, not when you're sick. You know, there's a reason why God said to take a Sabbath, and I think we live in a society that would tell us, like, hustle, 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 hustle without taking day off. The way God built us, we need a rest. So this spiel is so much involved because I learned how to rest. I learned how to pause. And in my stillness, I've learned so much and embrace who I am as a mid-40s, and I'm happy to say it, a mid-40s Black woman. Because culturally, the way I grew up, we grew up always going, and you only rest when you're sick. So I'm changing the narrative because rest look good on you, just like joy is. So in the past 3 years, number one, I gave birth to a beautiful boy named Zion Joel Lewis. But I also had some health issues. I suffered from preeclampsia to the point I almost had a stroke 8 days later from giving birth. So that is also a testimony within itself, where I'm teaching women to really pay attention to their body. The second thing that happened that was very life turning for me was I was diagnosed with cancer in 2023, and that is worth 2 sessions in my podcast, because it has a spiritual component and it also had a physical component with it. It taught me how to treat my vessel better. God is a God who is a God of intent, and He gave us all an assignment. And I think a lot of times we don't get to finish our assignment or do our assignment correctly because of the negligence we put on our own bodies. And I think, going through cancer, it was just like one of those things where I was like, God really pressed the reset button for me. He healed me under 90 days. And it was all because not only I prayed, I fast, but also the diet, my community, decluttering the things around me mentally, spiritually, and physically. So like I said, we're going to talk more about that. The third thing is that I also had a miscarriage. But through my miscarriage, I know for a lot of people, they look at it like it's something sad, and it was. But I felt like I had a rebirth through that moment. And I really want to talk about that because there's life at the end of the tunnel. And everything that happens to you doesn't go to God by surprise. Every detail, every moment, every second, God has provision and protection for. And so I'm excited for season number 2. There's a lot that happened to me health-wise, but I just love what God is doing in my life through my rebirth season, my restoration season. And I know some woman out there needs to hear this word and this testimony. So I would be so wrong. I'll be a disservice, in God's service if I don't share this testimony. Ooh, okay. So that's a loaded question. If anybody knows me, I love my privacy. I'm an introvert by nature. But let me tell you, I know the date, I know the time where it kind of spilled out. I was preaching for the women's group at my church in 2023. No one knew I had cancer as of yet, but I knew, my husband knew, my family knew, and I kind of wanted to keep it close because I just felt like I already got my word from God, and I was I'm one of those people. I have tunnel vision. I am so focused on that tunnel to the point I don't see anything else. So as I was preaching and encouraging the other women, it spilled when the doctor says you have cancer, the doctor told me I have cancer, and it just spilled out. It wasn't until I got a call from my aunt in Georgia, and she said, "Did you realize you just told the world you had cancer?" And I said, "Really?" I said, "Oh my goodness." So I said, I'm going to put a post out there. So my husband and I worked on putting a post where we kind of control the narrative because I didn't want no one's pity, right? I didn't want no one to feel sad because God gave me that word that I was going to change the narrative of it, and I didn't want people to project their fear or anything like that because my mom passed away of cancer. So I just knew a lot was going on in people's heads. So the moment I released it, everyone's shock was "Oh shoot," and I'm "Oh my goodness." But the crazy part is, I had calls that whole week where women were just "Thank you so much for spilling this because I'm dealing with cancer." And there's some people who's "I noticed a lump and I'm going to go check it out." All of a sudden, all these women were coming up and telling me all these things. And I'm just you know what? I really can't not hold it. There are women out there that's connected to your testimony. And it's your job to share it, just to let other women and other men know that God is in this. And so because I was vulnerable at that moment, not intentionally, that other women took their health pretty seriously now. I did. It's going to be 4 years this year because I turned 4. Listen, I really don't like doing hair. It's not that deep. A lot of people it's because it was not that deep for me. I'm a type of person, I don't like doing hair. And so when I was pregnant with Zion, I was babe, I can't deal with my hair because it was either braids or crochet at that time. And if my hair was out, it would be in a ponytail. It was I love ponytails, right? And so I wanted something so low maintenance because when I was having Zion, I had Zion at 43. So you guys already know that's a high risk pregnancy. And so I just didn't want to, the last thing I didn't want to worry about is my hair. And so when I told my husband, I was I just want to shave it off. And my husband is the one that says, "Why don't you lock it?" I was oh, I really never thought about that. I was maybe you're right. So I locked it. Loved it ever since. I wish I did it earlier. So low maintenance. Joe Locks and Savage Roots and Rodlin at Bow Essence three of my favorite locticians worked together just to. People ask me, like, what do I do? I really leave it alone. I don't bother it at all. But it's one of the best decisions after Christ, okay? Best decisions that I've made. So low maintenance. I wish I did it earlier. Actually, Nathan was the one who suggested for me to do the video. If it wasn't for Nathan, it would have just been audio, like the first season. But Nathan really pushed me out of my zone, my comfort zone, and I appreciate that. So the joy is I'm doing this. I don't want to say I'm doing it scared, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Gray hairs, whatever. I'm doing it, okay? And I'm not thinking about any little flaws or anything. I just want you guys to understand this is new for me. So I do get a little nervous and everything. But guess what? I'm doing it. And I appreciate Nathan and his production team that kind of pushed me out there because I really appreciate it. And I'm loving it. At first I was like, I gave Nathan a little bit of problem because I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna circle back around to it. But now that I'm doing it, I'm like, you know what? It really is not as crazy as I thought it would be. So whatever God's calling you, you have the courage to do it. So just do it.